Hello YouTube, we're on the Real Programming channel. I'm its host, my name is Andrei, I greet you, welcome. This is our 7th lesson, it's about HTML, PHP, MySqL. We will talk about creating the mail message body with PHP. And the solution of our last exercise in last lesson. Okay, the report PHP script currently ignores 5 different pieces of form data choking. The input tag for each from field holds the key to accessing form data from PHP, and the period allows you to stick multiple strings of text together as one is the underscore presses no as a concatenation. Sorry, this space separates the first and the last names. And we need to go from this to this. Notice how much more information is displayed. The user's name isn't critical to the confirmation page, although we'll need this later when we send an abduction email to Owen. The echo commands is used to output the additional information to the browsers as HTML content. Again, periods are used to concatenate string and variables together. The br/text help format the information. Don't forget that we're using PHP to create HTML. Test drive. Tweak Owen's script and try out the changes and the code for the new variables to report PHP, as well as the code that echoes the variables to the browsers as formatted HTML. Then upload the string to your web server. Open the report HTML page in your browsers and fill out the form with alien abduction information. Finally, click the report abduction button to submit the form and see the result. There are no dumb questions. What actually happens when I concatenate multiple strings together using periods? Concatenation involves sticking more than one string together to form a completely new string. The end result of concatenation strings is always a single string, no matter how many strings you start with. So, when you concatenate strings as part of an echo command, PHP combines the strings together into one first and then echoes that string to the browsers. When I concatenate variables with a string, does the variable have to contain text? No, although concatenation always results in a string, variables don't have to contain strings in order for you to concatenate them. So, say variable contains a number, PHP converts the number to a string first and then concatenates it. What happens to PHP code on the browsers? Nothing. And that's because PHP code is never seen by a browser. PHP code runs on the server and gets turned into HTML code that's sent along to the browsers. So, the browsers is completely unaware of PHP's existence. Web page arrives as a pure HTML and CSS. Okay. So how exactly does the server turn PHP code into HTML and CSS code? First off, remember that by default the code in a PHP script is assumed to be HTML code. You identify PHP code within a script by placing it between like this tag. And this text. The server sees those texts and knows to run the code inside them as PHP, and all the code outside of those texts is passed along to the browsers as HTML. Right, but that still doesn't explain how the PHP code gets turned into HTML or CSS code, what gives error. That's where the echo command enters the picture. You can think of the echo commands as outputting information beyond the confines of this text PHP. So the echo command is key to PHP ability to dynamically generate HTML or CSS code. By concatenating strings of text with PHP variables, you can construct HTML code on the fly and then use echo to output it to the browser as part of the resulting web page. A good example of this is an owensReport.php script when the br/tag is docked on to the end of a piece of text to generate a line break in HTML. The confirming web page is helpful to the user, but it's not good to me. I still need the form data sent to me in the mail. The PHP script still needs to mail from data to Owen. As it stands, the report.php script is grabbing the data from the report and abduction form and generating an HTML confirmation page for the user, but it's not yet solving the original problem of mailing a message to Owen when the form is submitted. He just wants to receive a simple text-to-mail message that looks something like this. Similar to the confirmation web page, this email message consists of static text combined with form data. This email message can be generated from PHP code by putting together a string that combines static text such as other comments, which form field data stored in variables. Write down how you'd put together an email message string from static text and PHP variables. Creating the mail message body with PHP. So, you've already seen how the period can be used in PHP code to concatenate multiple strings of text together into a single string, how you need to use concatenation again to build an email message string with variables sprinkled in among static text. Variables and the static text are concatenated into a single email message string using a period. Most text editors will automatically wrap the code to the text alive even if you don't put in your own line break return. Let's look on the code. Okay, this is our code. Remember, each variable holds a string of text that was pulled from the report and abduction form. One problem with building such a large string is that it requires a huge line of PHP code that's difficult to read and understand. You can break the PHP code across multiple lines to make it easier to follow. Just make sure to separate the code in spots where the spacing doesn't matter, like between the concatenate strings, not in the middle of a string. Then put a semicolon at the end of the last line of the code to finish the PHP statement. This is really just one big line of code divided across multiple lines. And the lines of code is carefully extended by not breaking it in the middle of a string. Use still to finish the entire statement with a semicolon. When a line of PHP code is deliberately extended across multiple lines, it's customary to indent the lines after the first one to help you see which lines belong together in your code. A long line of PHP code can be spanned across multiple lines as long as you're careful about how you break up the code. Okay, that PHP code sure is pretty, but with no formatting, won't the mail message be all jumbled together? Yes, just because the PHP code is organized nicely doesn't mean its output will automatically look good. Organizing PHP code so that you can better understand it is completely different than formatting the output of PHP code that user will see. You'll normally use HTML text to format the output of a PHP code, since in most cases PHP is used to dynamically generate a web page, but not in this case. Here we're generating an email message, which is plain text, not HTML. We need to deal with the fact that the message currently looks like this. Ouch, this is not what Owen had in mind for this his abduction report in the mail message. There are no dumb questions. Is there a way to use HTML formatting to emails you send from a PHP script? There is. but it requires an additional step that involves setting the content type header for the message. Headers and the content types are a bit beyond the scope of this discussion, which is why we're sticking with pure text mail messages for Owens mail responses. You'll learn about more headers in chapter 6, so you'll definitely gain the knowledge to revisit HTML emails later. Brain power. How would you reformat the plain text mail message so that is easier to read? Okay, even plain text can be formatted a little. We will talk about this in the next lesson, and don't forget, remember please, you will find all the code and material of this lesson under this video in the description link to Google Drive. And that's our lesson 7 about PHP MySqL finished. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel please, put likes, share with friends and comment. Don't forget, do exercise, meditate, read more books of the topics, do exercise, preferably in the evening, regularly, drink more water for the brain. That's all. Thank you. Bye.